Happy New Year. This is the first time we've met in the new year.
Fiscal year, yay!
So, what do you got, Sarah?
So I am pinch hitting for Charlie while he's on a well-deserved canoe trip in the Allagash. I hope he's having a wonderful time in wonderful weather. I just have a couple quick updates. We are down to the 2 finalists for the Parks and Rec Director position. So we're hoping to make a decision next week when Charlie's back. We asked the 2 finalists to produce a memo, so we'll understand a little bit about their writing style. 2 very good candidates, very different. So it's a tough choice for the hiring committee, but hopefully we'll make that decision next week. And we are onboarding the new janitor position in a couple weeks. We've hired a candidate, they passed the background checks and all the necessary kind of qualifications for the PD, and they'll be joining the team in a couple weeks.
Do you remember offhand the savings that's going to be? I know with that janitor position, it was putting together 3 or 4 things. And it was going to be.
So it's technically not a savings because we're cutting 2 contracts, but we are increasing the hours, the personnel hours. So the 2 contracts that we have were around 61,000, and it was about 1,100 hours. So we're going to be getting 2,000 hours. Sorry, and I'm not sure exactly where the salary landed, but it was not much over with fringe and everything.
I knew that there was a positive aspect to it. I thought it was money, but it's actually resources.
Yes.
What we've got. That's great. Glad to hear that. Thank you.
That's all I have. That's it. Yeah. I mean, other stuff, just staying above water here.
All right, moving on to Nate.
Moving on to me. So you should have in front of you the year-to-date, which obviously is the complete fiscal year, FY25, showing the revenue and expenses. I will say that I am about 98% reconciled. I'm just finishing up the credit card account. So all these numbers are, from what I can see, actual. They're not audited financials yet, but they are. Like I said, I've gone through, made sure everything's in the correct spots. So I'm feeling really good about that with the team. We're knocking that out. And you can see I have the expense breakdown as well, which Steve had requested several months ago. So you can see each department and the breakdown. But if you have any questions on that, I can answer them. I know I sent these out yesterday. It's also posted on the Ellsworth website for anyone in the community who is interested in looking at those. As far as the audit, I'll just give you a brief update. I did get a draft audit on June 30th. However, there was a few highlighted areas that they were still questioned about. So gave them the answers, still waiting to see when I can have that final audit. Like I said, I thought it would be June 30th. Not 100% complete yet. But we're still in communication back and forth with that, and I know that's frustrating because I'm frustrated just as well because here in a couple weeks I need to get started on the FY25 audit, and I told them that they could take probably 2 weeks off, but that's about it because we want to get started on FY25 as soon as possible. And the last thing really quick for you guys is if you have the agenda, it's about the DWSRF loan. Back in 2022, I believe it was 2022 or 2023, they had applied for DWSRF, which is the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund, a loan for the Surrey Road project, which was just started here a few months ago. So I received the first bill, I believe it was last month, and I reached out and I said, I saw that Brent mentioned on the pay rec that this was being paid by the DWSRF. Ironically, I don't have any paperwork showing that we have a DWSRF. So I reached out to Jim Safian, which started a email chain with DHHS and several others, and to see what happened. Just so you know, it looks like we've deduced it down to the application was started. There's 2 processes when it comes to the DWSRF. You have to apply to the DHHS, the Department of Health and Human Services, to show that the project should take place, and then it has to be submitted to the bond bank to get the process as far as application, so you can request those funds. That process, it seems like the second part of that was never done. So obviously this caused slight panic between myself and several others in City Hall. So between Jim Saffey and myself, Sarah, because Sarah is obviously Charlie this week, so she's got thrown into the mix. We're trying to see what we can do to get this DWSRF submitted ASAP, so we can obviously receive the funds for the project that we thought we already had 2 years ago. I don't want to put blame on one person, because I don't know honestly who's at fault for this. I could think and assume people, but I don't want to, because I wasn't here for that. But now that we're just, the goal is to get everything right and fixed. So I just want everyone to be aware when it comes to this DWSRF. Like I said, we thought we had the money, or we thought we had this loan locked up. We do not. So we are working in tandem with Jim Saffey and DHSS to get this resolved, hopefully as soon as possible. I assume this is going to spark a lot of questions, and I'm here to answer them as best as I can.
Do you have a sense, Nate, of the likelihood of us getting this loan,
Right.
considering the
The
circumstances?
likelihood, it seems really good, because I've heard from DHHS, and they told me what was needed from us, so they didn't say that we were not going to get it. So like they needed a capacity review that I guess never got done. So I submitted that to them on Wednesday morning. She reached back and said, I'll let you know if I have any questions. Haven't heard anything yet. My goal was to actually, after this meeting, reach out to her and just confirm everything looks good, if there's anything that we need to do. Between Jim Safian and a couple others, it seems like we just need to get this application submitted to the bond bank, which I actually reached out to him right before this meeting, before I hopped on, just to confirm if I can do that before I get DHHS approval. I want to make sure I line up my steps to make sure I'm doing everything appropriately. But everything I've seen in the emails seems to think we'll get it. Obviously the question is, will it be in a month, 2 months? I don't know what the time frame as far as how quickly this can get turned around.
And what was the amount?
It's $4.9 million, which is huge. And this project, the High Street, the Surrey Road project was the first one that we were going to pull from these funds. So that's why we need to get this locked down ASAP. So, like I said, we can continue this project and obviously pull from those funds that we were previously thought we had.
I have a question, I think, for Michelle. Is this going to require another council vote?
Well, that's what I don't know. How far did this get?
Okay.
I
Well,
guess is the question that we have. So in 2023, did we approve this loan?
I'll be honest with you, that was one thing I was going to go back and just make sure the minutes were done for this. I probably should go back and check. I guess in my mind, I assumed it was done because Jim Safian did know about the $4.9 million when I brought it up. So I would assume if he knew about it, that it was brought to his attention and brought to council. Like I said, it might have been in 2022 or 2023, but I haven't found the actual minutes yet I honestly haven't even looked, but to confirm that it was approved by council back then.
So, do you mind? I'm sorry. Because I've been thinking about this. Tammy sent this to me last night. So I guess what we need to know is, were we awarded the funds at all?
Yes.
We were.
Yes,
Okay, and I'm
sorry, I'm
okay.
sorry to interrupt, but yes, we were. So we were awarded the funds. We did not apply to be able to draw down the loan.
Okay, so that's the only
So
piece
the
of it.
first step
So-
was yes, the first
Okay.
one, so our projects were approved and we were awarded the funds from the drinking water program.
So I'm going to
Which makes me
assume
think
from
that it
that
was
that we
approved by
did
council.
approve, it was approved by council then?
Yes, because Woodard and Curran told me that they provided the application, submitted the application. We have response back that our project was approved. We just didn't do that next step of,
And Woodard and Curran would know if they came to council, because if we approved that, they would have come to council and explained the project and all that. So I'm gonna assume that we did that. So the only piece that's missing is, the bond bank piece that
The
we
bond
needed to.
bank application.
And
portion.
did Jim have that paperwork that would have come to the council for that? He would have
probably
created all
does,
the-
I can confirm.
Yeah, so he would have created all the documentation that would have come to council when we needed to go to the bond
Yeah.
bank. And we would have had, at that point, we would have had the interest rate, we would have had all of that information to us at that time. If Jim has that, then that part's gone. It seems like it's only a one little piece that didn't get done. And if we've been awarded the funds, and if we've gone so far that Jim has created the package for us, it just seems like all of that was done, but it never went to the bond bank. It doesn't seem like that it just disappeared once we were awarded. Because so the other piece that I was wondering is, we received the amortization schedules for all of our debt service. Was this not included on there?
No.
Because I thought I had seen it. I know this is because we've been talking about how we're
We
going
have
to pay for
we have a
everything.
2020 DWSRF, but we don't have the 2022 DWSRF, which I believe that's what this one was titled.
Was it part of the budget though?
No, it's not part of the budget at all.
We're going to have to go back through, because we've got these projects and they're in the budget somewhere. Even the revenue and the expense would be showing in the budget somewhere.
I was thinking more the debt service.
Yeah,
Let's do
that's why I was questioning the debt service. I think the
Yeah.
important thing is to get this loan so we can pay for these projects, and then we're gonna have to go back and look at the financials and figure out the budget. We might need to do something there.
I think, if I may, I think the crisis is the crisis, and I think it's steps that need to be taken. Number one, what's the amount of the requisition that the city does not have the funds to pay on this project? What is that amount? And how do we solve that? Because that's not going to get solved in this amount of time that we need to. Secondly is, Woodard and Curran come here and talked about this project at length and talked about all of this free money and 1% money and all of that. We need to have them back here. They're the ones that guided this project from the beginning. We need to retrace those steps, in my view. What's happened has happened, but we have to find a way to pay for the contractor's requisition. And then we have to find a way to fix the breakdown. But I think the requisition amount is the crisis amount right here.
Well, we can do that with the ban.
But what's the amount?
And you're talking just the current invoice.
Yeah, the
Yeah, when you say
requisition
requisition.
amount, because you're gonna, I mean, that's the first thing to fix here, is that's the immediate thing that's breathing down the neck of this problem.
Yeah.
I really
We just
believe-
got an invoice, so our total due right now is about 900,000.
Do you know when the next one's due?
It probably will be a month from now, because like I said, we just got the bill a week ago.
So Nate, what you should do is, we need to contact a bank and get a ban, and the council will have to do a special meeting, an emergency meeting to approve that, so that we can pay them. So that's fairly easy to take care of. And as far as Woodard and Curran gets us the bonds, it's the responsibility of the city to finance them. So that's not their problem.
Well,
They-
I understand, but they also came and told us how inexpensive this was gonna be, and I think we need to trace those steps backwards to see where we're actually falling apart here.
We fell apart between approving the bond
Right.
and not following through on the
Change of
financial
staff,
portion,
too.
the financial
Yeah.
staff. It's not,
Well, I don't think it hurts to find the truth here. And, but again, the crisis is to pay the contractor that's done the work. And
yeah, then we can do that with a ban.
And do you think, we will get the ban all situated? Do you want it on the council meeting? Or do you want an emergency meeting next week?
When's the invoice due?
Like I said, we just received it, so I believe it's the end of this month.
So we can get it on this month.
We
We
could
can
do
get it
it,
on
Yeah,
this
but
month.
it's a
Okay.
public hearing.
Oh, yeah,
we can advertise it in the
Yeah.
Bangor Daily, can't we?
Yeah.
For the public hearing?
yeah,
Okay.
It's just gonna be expensive.
yeah.
Sounds like we're gonna spend a little bit of money on
Yeah,
fixing
a little
this
bit.
one.
Yeah.
And we do have the TAN too. I know that that's not intended for this purpose, but obviously we can pull funds from that and pay that back once we receive the loan, but
Because we did also look into, because we have 24, 25 drinking water funds, and thought maybe we could pull down from a future year to this year, but those haven't been bonded either.
Yeah.
So we
That's what I
can't
said.
even do that.
I don't know, I think the cleanest way is to borrow for this and then pay it back when we get
Okay.
and draw down for that borrowing. It's not,
Yeah, we
it's
can,
not crossing money over.
Yep.
It's a clean cut.
and then we can get these people paid on time, and then we'll figure out the,
The rest of it, once you get that done and
do we have time with, I heard you guys bring up public hearing. Do we have time for having public hearing notices go out?
Yes.
To have this on?
Yeah, because we can advertise it in the Bangor Daily. So yeah,
Okay.
we'll have time.
Okay.
And I have a question though, just about you mentioned Jim and the bid package for the bond to start drawing down the money. Does that have to come back to council?
it depends on whether or not it came in the first place.
So we should try to find out if it came in the first place, and if it didn't come in the first place, we should get that on the council agenda too, so we can make sure that process starts.
Jim should have all if
Yeah.
Jim has all the paperwork, he should have all the attested minutes and everything. So I'll reach
Yeah.
out to him, because he should have the time frame of when that was approved.
We'll just confirm
Because you
that that
have to have all
happened.
Yeah,
And if it didn't happen, we'll make sure it's on this council agenda too.
I don't think it happened.
That's Steve's vote. What's everyone else's vote?
Let's get the information.
let's get the information, I don't wanna,
Yeah,
Wasn't here, so I don't know.
Okay.
and, you know, I think that just focus on fixing it,
Yeah,
for now, and,
that's the goal.
yeah, and,
things are feeling too easy.
yeah, you know.
But we're really good at managing this
We're
kind of
really
issue.
good at
We have-
managing
we have
crisis, right?
experience with this. And it's an affirmation, I think, of the staff that we have now.
Yeah.
We're still.
Mr.
cleaning up
Raymond, you have a question?
stuff.
Hi, Joe, right, yeah.
If you can go
Not
to.
really on this.
Yeah, well,
Oh, can we finish this conversation first then, if
Okay.
it's not on this? Thanks. I was just trying to think of, so the next step, I know I just came in and took over, I'm wicked sorry, but I've been thinking about this all night. So we need to find out if it's come to council, the bond package.
Yep.
We also need to find out if we can now borrow. I can't imagine they wouldn't let us borrow, since it's been approved. That was my worries. Oh my God, was it even approved in the first place? Did we ever get that approval? And did the council vote to accept it? So you need to, did the council vote to accept it? Did Jim create the packet? Was he asked to? Does he have
Okay.
all that information? Where are we on that? And then we can just pick up from there, once we know that the bond bank is gonna
Okay.
allow us. But the bond bank doesn't, won't that be November, or will they do a special bonding for us? How does that
No,
work, Tim?
drinking water is different than
Yeah,
the
they
general
have-
obligation.
Okay.
And they said they have regular meetings
Okay.
of that committee.
Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't make it seem like it was gonna be like until November. It sounded like it would be a month or two
Yeah.
before it would be available.
Tammy, what did you say? I'm sorry.
I said the general obligation funding is in November and May, so, but the drinking
But,
water
yeah.
program is different.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just want to confirm.
Can I ask a question? I'll even go up there. I just, are you looking to get this on July's meeting? Is that what you're asking? I just want clarification, because all that, the agenda is going in today, like, within the next half hour or so.
Yeah.
So, I just want to make sure we get,
We'll have to have an emergency meeting then, probably.
Well, can we get it on in the next half hour?
Yeah.
I'm feeling
Yeah, just throw it on there.
you want it for July, that's what I want to ask. So I'm just gonna make sure that she doesn't send anything until she talks to us, or
Yeah.
talks to
Hey,
me.
that.
Sarah.
Yeah, I would tell her.
Sarah,
to-
do you want to try to do a call with me, you, and Jim Safian right after this meeting?
Yes, I would love that.
Okay.
Can you clarify for new members and the public who is Jim Safian? I,
Or
Don't
bond
know.
bank
He's-
attorney, or a bond attorney.
He's our
Thank you.
bond counsel person.
Okay.
So
I didn't know who he was.
Pierce
and the name.
Atwood in Portland.
Got it.
He's
Thank
been
you.
Pierce
our
Atwood,
bond
yeah.
attorney for,
And he's amazing.
yeah, he's really
Oh,
good.
He is
God, he's so
awesome.
good.
He's been
Perfect.
doing it for years and years.
Could I-
He's probably dealt with this before.
he's like
Nobody tells
my
him to do it.
lifeline sometimes.
Ah, cool. Glad to hear
Phone a
it.
friend.
I'd just like to go on the record, if I may, that I don't think we ought to be mucking up the agenda. I think you ought to let people at City Hall and call a special meeting. I don't think we should thrash and bang and muck up this agenda. That's just my view, that this board doesn't feel that way, but I want to go on record as saying that. You got everybody with their hand on the crisis button for, we're making a mess of everything instead of just this one problem.
I just, to that point, one, I don't think this is a crisis. I think it's an issue we need to address. Two, we have the time to put it on the agenda, and we can do it in the normal course of our business. If the staff comes back and says, hey, we can't pull it off on this agenda, then fine, and then to Steve's point, then we'll do a special meeting, but, you know.
All they have to do is type it up.
You just gotta type it up, yeah.
Just
And,
type an agenda
yeah, I
item.
mean, this is obviously a problem, but I don't think we need to call it a crisis. We can have we have the ability to get money from the bank to ban it, and then, all indications are we are gonna get this money, we just need to finish some paperwork. And I have full faith in our staff and our bond counsel that we'll get it done.
No worries, Nate. We can
So
fix it.
I think we're pretty clear on the information we need to find, and then what direction, based on that information, we need to go. So, I did let Ebony know to just put a placeholder on the agenda, so, she's not gonna send that out. It is literally just typing that item on there. And we'll get all the backup information and do the appropriate notices for public hearings and things like that.
And if we can't get an answer from Jen by the time she needs to send that in, just put it on there, and we can just say we don't need the agenda item. It's not a big deal.
I've already emailed Jim Safi and Sarah just to let them know that we'd like to have a call, so hopefully he responds here soon. That's all I got.
That was enough. That was enough.
That's it, just that. Just
Honestly,
that, you
Nate,
know.
what do you do with all your time?
Yeah, exactly, yeah, this is what I'm doing with my time.
Just real quick, back to Big Finance Friday.
Yeah,
Kind of
Freaky
glossed
Friday.
over that
Freaky,
one.
you know, and it's
Freaky Friday.
super freaky because we have the whole fiscal year in review. I don't know, I just want to, Nate, did you have any high-level observations about FY '25?
Exactly.
And,
I think obviously legal services, we were well over on legal services. Assessing, city manager, some of that was due to, people leaving the city, so, cashing out their paid time off. So if you see salaries way high, a lot of that is the reason why. fire, a lot of the, fire dispatch, a lot of that was over. But overall, when you look at just the expenses breakdown, we're 100.2%, which was $62,000 over, but the revenue side, was a lot better. I don't have the actual revenue breakdown, but I think overall, everything seems well. It's just salaries, overtime for fire was high, which I talked to Scott about yesterday. Hopefully that's under control this year. Overall, I feel pretty good. Like I said, it definitely feels good to almost have the whole thing reconciled, because I don't want to be bringing numbers that I think are right. I want to bring numbers that I know are right. So it feels good to go through all the accounts and know that these are appropriately categorized. So I feel good.
No, it's great, and I just, this past year's budget compared to the year before, when we're dealing off the year before's budget, which was done when,
Yeah.
in the middle of a turnover of the city manager and the finance director and all that. So I think the fact that we came in just 0.2% over budget, considering that what we went through, is great. And I look forward to getting the audit, and so we can get the actuals and all that. But
Yeah.
I think overall, compared to where we were, I know we say this a lot, but now we're at the conclusion of the fiscal year. I feel, to me, it's just a sign of, all the hard work everyone's done this past year, and I just want to thank everyone for that.
So I just
No,
want
I
to
appreciate that.
I
I think
just
one
wanna-
of the smart goals talking with Sarah this week, and I apologize, I probably interrupted somebody, sorry Tammy.
That's okay.
Was one goal for the finance department is to work in collaboration with the other departments when it comes to grants. I told Sarah, I think last year was, I don't want to call it crisis mode, but we were trying to get everything right in the finance department to just be able to present financials. Now it's like, okay, what can we do better? And one area that we feel like we can do better, and the auditors have mentioned, is just our grant management and how we do grants. So that's one area that we're really trying to work on improving. Like I said, I don't want to be focused solely on the finance department, but we want to work in collaboration with econ dev and planning and everybody else that brings the grants to us, so that they're properly managed. Everything's done, requisitions are done properly. So that's one of the goals that we have just from the finance department, is just to make things better this year.
Paperwork submitted to the bond bank.
Yeah.
Small.
Yeah, stuff like that.
So I just wanted to add that these numbers will definitely change, because what you don't have in here is the AP. So all your June invoices and any June revenue that doesn't get posted until July, it needs to be backed out of fiscal year 26 and put in 2025. So these numbers will definitely change. So, but this is good up until the end of June 30th. So
Tammy, can we encumber anything?
I guess it's depending on what it looks like after they have all the AP in.
I have a
I'm
I
sorry.
have a question what am I missing? That I look at total expenses on this handout and it's 30 million. Total revenue is 58 million. What am I missing?
It's because it's adding all of the numbers here. I was gonna actually talk to you about that, Nate. So you said your difference on just the revenue side is 1,054,000. It includes those receivable numbers in there, and it shouldn't.
Yes.
Okay, and
So-
that is about half that
Yeah,
amount, so
yeah.
it looks like we're,
Yeah.
overtaxing people, and I just want to understand why not, so.
No, it's just, this is like a spreadsheet number
I
issue.
understand
No,
it's
I meant,
So the
it's
top
Friday
two
morning.
maybe should be
and I-
pulled out?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that's what.
Thank
Yeah,
you for that.
those should, I put those on there, just to, so you can see it monthly, but yeah, they shouldn't be added to the actual revenues.
Thank you, that answers the question.
Michelle, what were you saying about
So
encumbering?
if we're 0.2 over budget and we don't have the offset of the revenue for 600, because the capital improvements are $600,000. And so we couldn't encumber the capital improvements because we don't have the offset. in the revenue to balance the budget, right?
Oh, I'm just wondering if there's things that haven't been recorded. Like the Red Bridge Road culvert probably needs like use of the capital improvement fund balance, because we should have received that money already, correct? For the Red Bridge Road?
I missed the first part of the question. Oh, the Red Bridge Road, yes, we did. It's,
So you'd use the assigned fund balance to cover that, because they should have tagged that to pay for this in the assigned fund balance. So I don't think, like, so there should be a transfer from assigned fund balance into the capital improvement
Into
fund.
the capital improvement fund?
Yeah, so I think there's some things that are missing, that will get picked up. The bike ped feasibility study, that was grant as well, right?
yes.
So that should be like a transfer in from grants. Oak Street and downtown drainage, that's a grant? I was thinking we have money out there
We
that
have money
just
out
needs
there
to
that just
show the
needs to
revenue
show.
side. Yep.
Okay.
Drew's have some tailing things that will,
Yes,
once it's done, then we'll have the real full.
yep.
We'll have the full picture of
So
it.
I do feel like we should, based on those revenues, it looks pretty good.
And we don't usually have all that much in accruals, do we? Because it's not like we accrue payroll and the large items, or do we?
So payroll's probably okay, just the way the weeks fell. Maybe. Benefits that should be okay. It's just those,
Those outstanding bills.
yeah. So, one of the things I noticed on this sheet here was that the, debt payment for the 2016 GOB, for the first wasn't paid, and it doesn't show that it's paid in FY '25, but I see it on the warrant. Do you know why it was late? Late payment on that?
It was due July 1, so it was paid on July 1.
Oh, okay. Did we miss the payment at the beginning of the year?
So we did a direct payment with the first on
Yeah.
that, but it was due July 1, so we paid it on July 1. Obviously, we didn't have a warrant last week, so that was why it's on this week's
Oh,
warrant.
gotcha.
Do you think July 1 of last year didn't go on 25? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, that's what I'm.
And that's what I was gonna say, probably last year's did.
Okay, that makes sense. All right.
Could someone help me understand why the conversation doesn't line up with what the numbers are? Maybe there's something I'm missing here, but it looks to me like the actuals, and maybe there's $1 million coming. I don't know from what your conversation is, but on the revenue side, it looks like the budget was 59 million. Let's call it 60 million, and the actual revenue was $1 million short of that. It doesn't, help me understand why the conversation doesn't line up with this number.
I
This
guess
is-
I don't really understand
On the
your
revenue.
question.
On the revenue side.
Tammy's got
You
an
take-
answer here, Nate.
So that's what we were just talking about, is this spreadsheet should not include your receivables at the top. So those, is that making sense what I'm saying there? So that number isn't correct, it should be less the,
So that number's 2 million. And you got $1 million at the bottom.
it's the spreadsheet that's off.
So the conversation is right and the spreadsheet is wrong?
I don't know what you're saying, Steve, I'm sorry.
We're-
This isn't, because this is taking into account this.
So it would be
should
seeing
not
what
be-
what the difference is once you've made the adjustments with the
Yes.
first two lines.
Mhm.
So you're gonna adjust the first two lines? Correct?
Just not include that in that total.
Take out that number, less the bottom total revenues would be, you would subtract the top two lines from it to get the number.
It,
Because they're receivables, not receipts?
Correct, because you record your revenue,
Receipts.
right, your revenue is immediate when you send out
That's
the
a
commitment.
receipt, not a
right.
receivable.
Correct,
So you're saying the top two lines need to come out of it? Because it's a receivable, not a receipt. A receipt is when you collect the money, a receivable is what you plan to collect. Is
Yeah.
that
or
fair?
when you bill for it. So basically, they're double counted, because it's when they're invoiced for and then when they're received.
Well,
It's
yeah,
twice,
receivables
counted
are,
twice.
are an accrued invoice. but,
Correct.
A receipt is when you take in the money. So you're saying that we've got receipts on everything except the top two lines, the rest of these are receipts? Is that fair to say? Line
Yes.
Line 3, boat excise,
yep,
okay? That is a receipt, not
correct,
a
we have
receivable.
collected that much money.
Right. Okay. So you're saying that this 59 million, the receivable number needs to come out of that?
Correct.
On all columns.
But you still got 2 million bucks in those receivable differences. So if you take that out of this, you're telling me that,
That should catch us up.
Yeah, it's like 900,000, I added it yesterday. So 891 or something like that.
Steve, where's
Okay.
your calculator?
Here, I can,
no, that's fine, that's fine. So that's why the conversation doesn't line up with the statement. Well, the statement
No,
doesn't
that's a
line up
good
with the
question.
conversation.
That wasn't 100% clear to me either, so that's helpful.
Yeah, I'm hearing this conversation and I'm looking that there's $1 million shortfall, but that's,
no.
again, because you've got receivables and they're not receipts. So
Yeah,
this
I'll
chart
make
has.
sure not
rec-
to
No,
add
that's
that
fine,
to
I'm
the-
just asking the question because you got two receivables and the rest are receipts. That's why the
Yeah.
receivables are highlighted, is that fair?
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah, those were it was brought up in a previous meeting to have those shown, just so we can see where the receivables are at throughout the course of the year. So that's
Yep.
why I put those on. They shouldn't be added to the total, and that's probably where you're getting thrown off, is you see the 58 at the very bottom of page 1, and technically it should be that minus the receivables that
Okay,
are
well,
showing.
that's fair. I'm not against having it on there. I'm just asking why the numbers
Yeah.
don't line up with.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can just
Conversation.
update the table for the
Well,
future.
I'm
So
not-
that's where we're at,
you
it's
know
not
what?
14.
Having it on there is fine, just the explanation was what I need.
Yeah,
So we've collected 914,000 more in revenue, once you pull those up,
Then expenses.
than expenses, yeah. Does that help?
It does help, but that means that our projected receivables are off. Correct? Because if you budget 26 million and you actually received 24 million,
I see what you're saying. Why are
there's still a difference. If you projected 26, I'm using round numbers, if you projected that you were going to receive 26 million, and you have only received 24 million, there's still a shortfall there.
Well, there is, because those people haven't paid yet.
I understand, but it was budgeted for the 25 year.
Right,
and we haven't received the money.
Correct.
Thank
It's
you.
always
So
like
can
that.
we get this updated for next
Yeah,
week?
but you're also not seeing the money from 24 that we received in 25, because you're always gonna have those liens and stuff that people are paying for previous years. So just like you see that third column that has, we only received 93.8% last year, but which would have been the 24 receivables, but they still came in throughout the course of this year. Now that's not showing on this report, but we still received 24 via liens and whatnot.
So, but my understanding is we brought in more than we spent in 2025.
But somewhere we estimated $26 million in receivables, and that number is high.
That's not an estimate, that's what was actually billed out. That's the difference, it's a little different because it's fund accounting. When we do the commitment, that's our revenue. You have your revenue first and then you spend it backwards. And so that's our commitment, so that's what we collect over, and we'll collect the rest of it over the next 18 months, unless we,
That's the total of all the invoices sent out
Yeah.
for tax bills.
that's your
for
commitment.
the year.
Right.
So it's not an estimate, it's what we actually billed.
Correct. But in the private world, it's considered allowance for doubtful accounts.
No, it's not, that's definitely not the way it is.
No, it's not, it's fund accounting, because they
Well-
have to pay it, or else that's why we have property
They don't
sales and
have
things.
to pay it, we just released $50,000 in bad debt just
Yeah.
last week.
So so that comes out of, when we do the tax rate, we have an overlay, that's part of that tax rate, and those unpaid ones, which are, paid out of that.
It's fuzzy math.
No,
It's
it's
fund
not.
accounting.
It's fund
Municipal.
accounting.
There's a whole GASB board that makes sure you do that correct, and it's all accounted for.
And an audit.
Yes,
that we're
and
catching
that's
up
the
on.
reason why we
Yeah.
have audits too.
But that's, to your point, Steve, I try to translate my nonprofit. Like I said, at 10 o'clock, I'm doing the same thing for my organization, and there are differences with municipal, so
Yeah.
getting caught up and
And
learning
it-
how things are done differently
And
here.
it comes down to that's guaranteed money. When you do a commitment, you're committing
Mm-hmm.
those funds to the budget, and you're committing those funds being paid.
How about Mr. Williams? Can we hear from him?
Look, my question earlier, I had a few others, but your computer internet guru answered them for me. But I just have one question.
Yes, sir.
Tax anticipation note, have you drawn it down yet? Or if not, when?
For FY '26?
Yes.
Yeah, well, we have to draw $50,001, actually today. We're picking up a check next week for $1 million, just to make sure that, we get through the next 2 months. So that'll be drawn down next week.
I think one thing, I think this conversation, I mean, all these, Steve's questions are fair, just because I didn't, there's nuance to it. Does MMA do like a municipal finance
Workshop.
workshop? I think
No, it's,
if,
I think a 2-day training.
is it a 2-day
Yeah.
training? That might be something value for anyone serving on the finance committee, or really any city councilor, but, no, that's a big commitment, but, I think just because it's, public accounting for public entities different than, I'm used to
Yeah.
the private world accounting, so,
And cash basis
And
for
cash base,
modified
yeah.
accruals.
yeah,
and-
so I think that'd be helpful for all of us. Well, I mean, Tammy and Michelle are, have
I bet
different.
they could run us a workshop.
I bet
if
that,
we're
or you could just run the
contracted.
workshop, but just a thought, because Steve, these
Yeah.
are all fair questions, and I'm more trusting of, I guess, just people telling me that it sounds good, and you're actually diving into the numbers, so, I think,
Yeah, I went to the government accounting classes last year in Augusta, which I thought they were useful. The first day's just basic accounting, but obviously learning the government side of it is nice.
So I know that we have used MMA to set up trainings just specifically for us. Like we did a FOIA training, we're gonna do a planning board kind of roles and procedural training too, so I can find out,
I think that'd be great.
when
Yeah.
that workshop is, and if it's available, just for them to come here and
Well,
do one for us.
Yeah, and especially, I think we're gonna have 3 new counselors in November, so maybe trying to tee that up for when we get new folks on the council, unless Tammy and Michelle change their minds. That might be a good time to do
Didn't hear
it.
a no.
I would suggest.
I've heard it
No.
1,000 times.
No.
But if you do that, because you will get into the weeds.
Yeah.
Because governmental accounting is its own thing.
Yeah,
Maybe have a workshop on the differences between business accounting and governmental accounting. Because it's absolutely, you're right, it's completely different. It's not fuzzy math, because it's very regulated. But it is, I went from business accounting to governmental accounting to cash basis accounting. And it's 3 completely different ways of doing accounting, and but you could get into the weeds if you try to do a
yeah.
2-hour workshop on governmental accounting.
Yeah, maybe there's a way to tailor it to.
Tailor it to what's
you
the
know,
differences.
And see, yeah, and rather than 2 full days in Augusta, maybe it's a half day where we can just get
Sure.
enough so we can, have
Have an idea.
better conversations and understandings, and maybe start tailoring some of these reports once we have that too. I would benefit from it.
Final question on this topic. Again, from my, from my world of my organization, we look at the P&L, which is basically what this is, and the balance sheet, which would talk about those accounts receivable. Is there a comparable to that? Looking at our assets and liabilities year to year that we ought to be looking at as we were in the past year? Or is it different in government?
It is different. Like, it's, you do, because it's so different.
Is it all
It's so
just
hard to
absorbed
explain.
into these documents? Okay.
Well, besides your
Integrated into it.
balance sheet, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's, I don't know the
Okay.
best way to explain it, Michelle, with the balance sheet, because
Then it just adds
it's
to that
used
point, I
differently.
think.
It's used differently because
than
it
you
doesn't-
would in a business.
Yeah.
Right, because you don't pay taxes, it's really more looking at the value of your municipality, more than for any other reason.
Okay.
So your balance sheet is different.
So I think that feeds into the maybe a half day to understand how it's different than what most of us bring to this role.
From what I've seen of government, I don't know if I want to learn any more about it.
We'll make it an optional workshops too.
It's actually fun.
I was like, oh, that sounds like a good time. But,
Yeah.
I'm a little odd.
You can't
anyways.
do
It really
it if you
is.
don't run again.
Hey.
Good point.
You're not
Good
welcome.
point.
Spreadsheets and highlighters, that's what makes this job magical.
And don't forget my stickies.
Sticky notes.
And sticky notes.
And finger
Tammy sticky notes.
things. I don't know what you call that.
Well, do these guys need to call Jim Safian?
Yes, and I have
Yes,
to go.
we do.
I do too, I gotta go. Thanks,
Actually,
Nate.
Sarah, I messaged you. He said he's available at 8:45 to call us out.
Oh, well, there you go.
8:47.
All right.
Okay,
There's your time.
All right, we'll let you guys go.
Thanks, everyone.
Are we done? I'm
Yeah, I'm
up
I
and
gotta go.
leaving.
Sorry.
All right, thanks.
Thank you all. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nate. Have a good one.
Yeah. All right, you too.
Thank you.